Would limiting the age of the president to 65 be something you'd support? Why or why not? Any way you cut it, a shitty system will produce shitty politicians. Ranked choice voting, in my opinion, is the law that would best reform our political entire system. I think the US should implement a ranked choice voting system. I think that will have a much bigger impact on our political system. The president sets the precedent. 65 is when it's time for people to retire. Sit down, make room, live out your days in peace. Set that tone for the American people. Yes, absolutely. Both Joe Biden and Donald Trump are way too old to be president. So was Reagan when he ran 40 years ago. Hell, I'd even go further and cap the ages for all elected officials at 65. Yeah. Even arguments about mental fitness aside, I think we should limit to candidates who would at least be reasonably expected to spend a couple decades in whatever world they create. Edits by the Teats of Thor. This was apparently the most upvoted comment on June 9th of 2022. Reddit sent me a little badge over it. All politicians should fuck off the second they hit retirement age. Those who would hit it during their terms shouldn't be allowed to run for office. Yes, I would. And if you need to know why, just look at Joe Biden, Donald Trump, and Dianne Feinstein, to name a few. This country has way too many geriatrics running it. We need more politicians who actually want to improve the systems we have rather than line their own pockets with money. We fucking can't though, because the two candidates that actually mean much in the election suck. Maybe 70, and it should apply to Congress. We should not have people with dementia running the country. I don't know. I don't like that we're run by a bunch of fossils either, but I don't know if a hard limit and arbitrary age for all people is really going to work out in reality. Absolutely. Limit 4 terms in the House, 2 terms in the Senate. If you're running for president, you must be 65 or younger when your term starts to be eligible. Add in ranked choice, public funding of elections with 0 private donations allowed. Reform the Senate so that states are guaranteed 2 senators but can up to 10 based on the population. No. It's not age. It's corruption. Get rid of privately funded campaigns and lobbying. Period. End of discussion. This shit is just a distraction every time it's brought up to get the age brackets pissed at each other. I am absolutely astonished at the number of people who are saying yes. The best person for the job should be in that position, regardless of age. I prefer insisting on a cognitive exam. Why? My great-grandfather practiced law until he was 96. He was sharp as a tack and still winning case, so he was in demand. He died at 99. He was still mentally sharp, but by that time he was physically frail. No. I welcome some sort of aptitude test, but restrictions based on age, both young and old, seem dumb to me. Yes. Why? Well, for example, air traffic controllers are forced to retire well before 65. Information benefits CSRS. We need an age limit of 70, term limits for Congress, and to do away with the Electoral College. Let the popular vote decide the president. In my country, whoever the president, and whatever their qualifications are, it's the political party leaders who pull the strings. So, nothing will change regardless. My dad is 75 and still has his mental faculties and runs a business. Conversely, many of the 20-30-year-olds I know can't do anything for themselves and rely on their parents for everything. Age has nothing to do with intelligence. Wouldn't that be ageism? Not all 65 years olds are created equal. This question kinda assumes every 65 years old is on death's door or something. Not particularly. I haven't seen much correlation that the age of a president determines their efficacy. No. Age limits are arbitrary. There are 80-year-olds that have the mental capacity to lead. There are 30-year-olds that don't. In theory, the problem of accidentally electing a senile president would be solved by the electorate. Not being idiots. Easier said than done. But I just don't think age discrimination is the fix here. FBI special agents are required to retire at 57, and commercial airline pilots can't fly solo after age 60 and must retire at 65. Can any of those people do more damage than a senile POTUS with the nuclear launch codes?